unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely positively beyond the shadow of all doubt, uncompromising. This is the BlackChannel.net radio. I am, of course, your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening, and tonight I'm joined by a special guest. We haven't heard from her in a little while here, but I'm very glad to have her with us here tonight. LaQuisha McLean is back with us again. Welcome back to the Black Channel, sister.
Thank you. Black First, Black Authority, and Black Family.
Black First, sister, and congratulations on being a new mom. I think
Thank you.
She brought the newest addition to the African family here 6 weeks ago, I believe it was.
Yes, he is now 6 weeks old.
Well, I'm glad you have a nice, healthy boy, I believe it is.
Yes. And his lungs work very well. So everybody in our apartment complex should know that we have a baby around.
Yeah, they've been keeping y'all up for the last 6 weeks. Don't worry, just 2 more years to go, and then you'll be past this part of it. So,
right, and then we'll be staying awake for other particular reasons, like worrying about school and living in Chicago and all of that good stuff.
Oh, well, no, you're not going to be sleeping for the next 19 years, so you'll just be sleeping here and there. Your regular schedule of sleep has now been interrupted for parenthood. That is what has occurred to you. So,
and I wouldn't trade it. I'm so ecstatic. I might be sleep deprived, but I'm ecstatic about life.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you found that. And now that's your second vocation. Is now you're a new parent, but that'll give you a great perspective on what we're doing next here. Now, I announced a few days ago that I wanted to start a new Black female fitness motivation because, of course, I don't have enough going on right now. Of course, I don't have enough things going on. I'm not busy enough, but I wanted to start another Black female fitness motivation. Now, for those of you who don't remember, it was about December of last year, and I'm not one of these people who believes in endlessly whining on about things. The reason that most black men don't get very much respect is because they are very, very good at running their mouths forever complaining, and you can't actually see where anything is actually getting done to change things. And we started the conversation about Black empowerment 5 years ago, and it's borne tremendous fruit to today. But while we're getting our money and whatnot, that's all very nice. Get your money taken care of, but don't forget you can't get very much of anything going on if your health is sideways. And last December, I took it upon myself. I didn't really even know what to do. I didn't actually know what to do. I knew I wasn't going to do videos. That was just too cumbersome. And I knew that I wasn't going to make a documentary about it since I'm already in the middle of one. But I wanted to do something right then and something that I could do and that would be prolonged and stay in front of people. And I just decided that every day I would just try to say one thing, at least one thing to remind, to encourage, to motivate, to keep it in the forefront of people's minds about Black female fitness. As you all know, America has a weight problem, but Black females in particular. In some places, Black women alone are responsible for skewing the numbers and taking a place that would otherwise not be overweight and taking it over that line. When you've got a situation where, when you and I spoke about this a few years ago, the number was 70%. Well, today it's 80%. I mean, the number just keeps rising, and at 80%, that basically means all. I mean, when you say that it's 80%, that's pretty much that's practically the whole environment at that point. And when the numbers start reaching that point, you realize that we are in a hell of a lot of trouble. So I put together the original Female Fitness Motivation to do my part for that. And I got a lot of response from it. A lot of people liked it and whatnot, and they wanted me to do more. So what I decided to do was I decided to up the ante. And to just briefly explain to everybody, because I've already talked to LaQuisha about this, and some of you have seen it, but for those of you who don't know, what I want to do now is I want to have a different type of black female fitness motivation. I want to get everybody, all the females who want to get involved. I want to make it where you do get involved. And just to throw a little something out there, I want to offer a cash incentive, prize, payment, whatever you want to call it. Just something that will say, you know what, I'm willing to put some skin in the game. I am willing to do something here. And what I wanted to do is I also wanted to make sure that the women who got involved with this, I wanted it to be at least 30 days. What do we have to do to get 30 days of effort out of this? And so that the next thing that hit my mind was, well, you know, the only person who I know is more of a missionary about this than me is LaQuisha. And you've actually been on it longer than I have. And that was important to me because your story is really, really good about that. You know, when you and I first met, it was right after you had experienced a rather dramatic weight loss of your own. And for everybody who has not met you, I want to just give you a moment to explain to everybody exactly what that was, how you got to where you got to, and what you've encountered since, you know, this is your first child. It's not like this is your third or fourth. This is your very first time giving birth ever, and all the body changes that happen. And so just tell us about your original weight loss, how you got involved in physical fitness, and some of the changes that you've noticed within yourself giving birth.
Okay. Well, easy enough. So back in 2008, the end of the year, I actually started up my personal transformation. Because before that, and I was 28 then, but before that, I would be what all of black females, us overweight girls, I consider myself thick. And I was a thick girl in my brain. I had the big butt, the curves or whatnot. I'd never been extra athletic. I've been in the gym, but I wasn't like a fit girl. I would do enough to not become just huge, but, you know, I wasn't really focused. Back then I started up my transformation because at that particular time, someone had challenged me to actually have some actual tangible fitness goals. And before that, I was just like trying to work out just to stay healthy. But as soon as I got challenged to actually have some goals, that's when my life started to change. I wasn't a personal trainer at that time. I was working a regular desk type of job. So I started going to the gym. That's where I would get my fitness in. And each year, I became a little bit more fit. I decided that I was going to compete in a figure competition, like a bodybuilding competition. I've done 2 of those. I've run several races, including some half marathons and a full marathon. My life has just completely changed. So I went from a size 12 fit girl to an actual size 4 fit girl, where I was still able to have the curves, but now I was actually healthier and more fit. And in time that I started transforming my body, I made the decision to become a personal trainer because I wanted other people, especially women, to recognize, you know, how life could be when you become healthier. And, you know, I see all the time that everybody is always trying to lose weight, you know, lose weight. That's fabulous. But anybody can lose weight. Can you lose the weight and keep it off? How's your life? Are you eating right? Is your family eating right? So these were the things that I started wanting to tackle. So it was more than just losing weight. I am a really big proponent of lifestyle. Like, you know, along with getting your health together, losing the weight, what about your relationships? Are you in a healthy relationships? Do you have, do you have healthy people around you? What is your family like life? Are your finances healthy? So I'm like a real holistic type of healthy person. And so now, I went through that transformation, and I've been the healthiest ever, and I'm 33. And then all of a sudden I get pregnant. And throughout my pregnancy, I was determined that if I'm going to build a baby, I'm going to build the healthiest baby. So throughout the pregnancy, I wasn't eating for two people like other people do. I stayed working out. I stayed feeding my baby like, I would feed myself. I'm not going to eat crap like Taco Bell or McDonald's. I'm going to feed my baby like I want to grow him up healthy. So during the pregnancy, I was documenting, I was taking pictures, I was talking about it on Facebook, just to show other women that you can have a healthy pregnancy. And so throughout my pregnancy, I gained about 33 pounds, which is not bad. And the coolest thing is, just as soon as I had him, a couple of weeks later, my body was already looking like kind of regular. I do still have about 10 pounds to lose. And so just this week, I hit my 6 weeks. And so I am already ready to hit the ground running, would get my fitness level back to where it was before. But the new baby has added a different dimension of sleep deprivation, and I'm newly married, so I take care of my household, make sure my husband has food, make sure that I have food, make sure the baby is fed. So now I have a different dimension along with, just taking care of myself. I got two other people in the household to take care of. So it's really, it is the universe or divine intervention or whatever that you called me or you contacted me when you did, because I was already ready to hit the ground running for myself and my personal business. So I think that with your phone call, it's just like, we need to make this bigger. We need to touch more people. We need to touch more moms. So that's my personal mission.
Now, the reason why that really did come in mind, because I did have a number of people that I was thinking about contacting. But in your case, it was really special because one of the things in particular that you and I have always talked about is how we become very, very, very good at developing excuses. Extremely good at it. And what you start realizing is that if you give an inch, they've gone to China. So we start hearing a bunch of things. We start hearing, I can't because I'm a student. I can't because I have a job. I can't because I have a husband. I can't because I have a kid. I got 3 kids. And what we realize is that the excuses never really stop. There's always some reason that they give you why they don't have to do it, or they say I can't do it. And now, they can always find time to get by Taco Bell or swing by Burger King, but they don't have the ability to carve out any time for the rest of this stuff. So in your position, everybody saw the guy last year, I believe it was. He was a fellow he was a fitness trainer, and he put on like 60 pounds just to show that he could go to obese and go from fit to fat to fit, I think is the name of the website, from fit to fat to fit. Yep. And
I remember that.
Basically, he did it because he encountered so many of his clients who said the exact same thing. That, oh, you don't know what it's like being overweight. You don't know what it's like being fat. You don't know what it's like having a full-time job and trying to do this stuff. That's why I can't XYZ. Well, he went ahead and he did it. And in your position, having kids and having to deal with your body changes and whatnot like that, I think that puts you in a pretty good position, because it's a situation where anybody who would be saying, well, what does this person know about my life, about the way that what I've been through, with the situations that I've had to deal with the changes that I'm having to deal with, it gives, I think it gives, in your situation now, you are able to share that perspective with them at this point here, because like in 6 months, it'll be back to business as usual. But during this time frame, we've got a unique opportunity where you can actually deal with them and walk with them in this process, because for a lot of them, this is your second time going through this process, but for a lot of them, they've never even successfully made it the first time. So this gives you an opportunity to walk along that with them. For those who haven't done this and are in the situation that you're in, like, are you noticing any differences in yourself, in your ability to work out? Is it harder? Are the body parts and joints working with you like they used to? Or are you noticing some rapid changes?
Well, I will say, in my case, I am not typical. I don't think that I'm very typical because I was extra fit before I even got started. I mean, before I got pregnant. And so I would say, for any women that are planning on having a baby, anytime soon, get in shape now, and work out throughout the pregnancy. Because just as soon as I had the baby, a couple of days went by and I was in pain or whatnot, but I honestly felt fine. My body snapped back really quickly, in my opinion. But what I did notice was that I wasn't as strong as I was before. But that's mainly because throughout the pregnancy for the last year, I had all these hormones going through my body, and I couldn't really add muscle. I was just working out just to be active, not really to get stronger or to change my body. So, like I was telling you the other day, I used to be able to knock out a bunch of push-ups. I could do tons of push-ups, but when I started trying to do push-ups again, like this past week, I couldn't get through 10 in a row. And that was full push-ups. I couldn't get through 10 full push-ups in a row, which was like a slap in the face because I used to be able to bench press 135 pounds. So not being able to push my own body weight for 10 reps was hard. And then, like 3 weeks ago, I started trying to do some planks. I'm like, I want to get my core strong so that when I do start working out, I'll be ready to go because your core strength is the foundation for everything. And so doing 20-second planks was challenging. And obviously that makes sense because my body just went through, crazy amount of changes in less than a year's time. I got hormones, I got a baby, So I started out with planks. But the muscle memory is great because now I can do, like 30-second planks, 40-second planks now. But yeah, so that's what I noticed. I noticed that my strength level is not the same. I'm also sleep deprived. So that adds another dimension because sleep is very, very necessary when embarking on weight loss. So we'll see how sleep deprivation does now that I'm about to start really hitting the road as far as working out.
Now, the reason why I've got LaQuisha here, everybody, is because in addition to the cash incentive that I want to offer for it, and like I say, that's going to be determined upon participation as far as how many people are involved. But LaQuisha will be your personal consultant for this. What I want us to do is she'll open up a group that'll be just a private group that'll only be for those who are involved in it. For you to be able to take part in that, all you have to do is right now we're just going to, for all the women who want to get involved with it, and we're probably going to start it up within the next 2 weeks. But we want to give time for everybody who wants to get involved to do that. But the first thing we want to do is make sure people are serious about it because we don't want a bunch of folk who, the worst thing that I've seen and that you've seen, LaQuisha, as a fitness trainer, the worst thing that I've seen is that everybody makes the New Year's resolution. I deliberately started the first female fitness motivation long before New Year's because my thing was that, everybody makes the resolution and then nobody does it. When you are ready to do it, it doesn't require a special day or a special date. When you are ready, you just go. It's like anything else in life. You just go ahead and you do it. But I don't want a situation where there's a bunch of people saying that, oh, we want to get involved, because our people are very, very good for that dance club mentality. We're very, very good for trying to find the next hot thing, the next big thing, the next popular thing. We're very, very good for that. And I don't want that. I want people who are interested in getting things done and in an environment with other people who are equally as serious. So to make sure that we don't have a problem from the get-go, I'm going to offer it where for everybody who wants to get involved, what you'll do is you'll just pay a nominal fee of $20. That's it. And that's way less than you pay at the gym or anything else. And that is, and really that's only because we just want to make sure about who's serious. I mean, if we really wanted to make a profit or something, we charge like 100. It's not a charge to it. I just want to make sure that the only people who are talking to LaQuisha are serious, because she is serious about this. She's got the before and after pictures to prove it, and I don't want anybody who is, if I would not have brought her to you if she were not serious. I do not want you spending time with her if you are not serious. So plain and simple, for less than a tank of gas, you'll have access to her and everybody else who's working with you for the next 30 days. The other thing that we want is for you to make sure, the other part of making sure that you are serious is we want you to keep a video log. You'll make a 2-minute video once a week. That's all we want. And I want to edit the videos myself, because I don't have enough editing going on in my life right now. So I want more stuff to edit on is what I want. But no, really what I'll do is that I want your videos, and I will take care of putting together just a weekly presentation that'll take clips from your videos so that you can keep track of your progress and we can keep track of your progress, and so that everybody out there can see what's really going on. That they can see it's not magic. It is a matter of setting a goal and making this goal a priority. But like I say, there's a lot of people out there and they got a lot of videos up. Why don't we have one that actually, means something for your life? So I want to have access to that kind of stuff so that we can show you, and so you can see other people who are going through the exact same thing. And one more thing, for anybody who might be concerned about that kind of stuff, and I know LaQuisha will bear me witness on this, there's always a self-conscious factor. There's always a self-consciousness factor. You don't have to worry about that here in this place, because the only people who look stupid are the people who are wiggling and jiggling their way up to the fried chicken counter and not realizing how bad it is. Knowing you're in bad shape and doing something about it, there has never been a single person, and I've worked with a lot of people over the last, couple of decades of my life, and I've met a few of them who were in Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcanon, and other substance abuse programs. And I'm a person, I've never taken a drug in my life. I've never smoked anything. I've never dipped anything. I've never had a drink of alcohol in my entire life. I wouldn't know what the stuff tastes like. Know what it smells like, but I wouldn't know what it tastes like. And I have never looked down on anybody who, when they have to go to AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and they need somebody to fill out the card for them so that they can say that they were actually at work and not at the bar. I've never had a problem with that. I've always thought that was the best thing in the world, because you're somebody who's trying to do something for yourself. And that is highly encouraging. That's the kind of thing that encourages me, and I don't even need help with substance abuse. It kind of reaffirms your faith in people, that somebody can see they have a problem and they're willing to dig in and do what's necessary to fix that. So in this place, you will find a lot of people who are very encouraging. I've blocked 2 people just this week alone. In the last couple of days, I've tossed out 2 people simply because I did not like the tone of the comments that they made on my female fitness motivation notice to everybody. I didn't like the tone of their comments, and I've tossed them. That's not something that you are going to have to be concerned about. Not something at all. So what we want to do is make it where people are honest about this, and be honest with yourself, because LaQuisha cannot help you if we don't know what's really going on. And you cannot get better if we don't really know what's going on. At some point, black people, and I'm talking about black women in particular here, since that's what we're talking about, have to stop being like the Republican Party. The Republican Party is currently going extinct. And the reason that they're going extinct is because they are using the exact same playbook today that they used 35 years ago. 35 years ago, they were getting ready for Ronald Reagan. And that's the problem. They were looking at Barry Goldwater and Ronald Reagan in a country that was 90% white and 95% Christian. Well, it's the year 2014. The country is not 90% white or 95% Christian any longer, but these guys are still behaving as if we're still waiting for the next Reagan to take us to this good white land. And black women need to be honest with themselves that this country is not like that. The Southern strategy does not work, and you're going to have to deal with the reality that you have to appeal to more than just Christian white males. Black women have to do the same thing. They are going to have to be honest with themselves that thick is not thick, thick is fat. That when Sir Mix-a-Lot made his video, those were a bunch of fit women in his video. Those were not a bunch of size 12s and size 14s. And the last guy who left you probably didn't leave you because you were a size 8. It was probably for a size... He probably left a size 12 or 14 for a size 8. It's time to actually be honest about the extent of the problem. Be honest about how bad it really is. And then let's be honest about what we need to do to address this and to fix this. So you've got a group of people here who got your back, were supportive, and I wouldn't be putting my money into this if I did not want to see you succeed. I think it's very important that we at least start a culture amongst ourselves where we say, you know what, it is time. And I want to make this declaration tonight. Everybody, it is time for us to officially retire the term thick. It's time for us to officially bury, eulogize, and put in the coffin and dump in the ground the term thick. The term thick does not have any meaning anymore. That term was made when we were comparing black women to white women. But today we've got a bunch of obese black women who say, well, I qualify as thick too. No, you don't. You qualify as a subway car, but you do not qualify as thick. So today it doesn't need to be thick versus fit. It needs to be fit versus fat. If you are not fit, you are fat. There is no in-between category of or intermediate category of thick. You are either fit or fat. There is no, well, I'm thick, which basically means kind of fit, kind of fat. No, you're not. You're one side or you're the other. You're diabetic or you're not. You can do 10 push-ups or you can't. You can run 10 steps or you can't. There's no intermediate. There's no in-between. And it's time for us to do that. So for everybody who wants to get involved with that, I can keep track of what you're doing there. You can just drop us a note. You can send it to my PayPal, theblackauthority@yahoo.com. Just put a little note on there. When on the note section, just have a note on there that says that this is for the Black Female Fitness Motivation. I'll take your information. I'll send that to LaQuisha. And somebody was asking before, do I offer anything other than PayPal? Well, I would love to take your credit card numbers, but if you woke up one morning and had $1,000 in charges on your card, you'd be looking at me. So I'm not going to take that kind of information. But LaQuisha, if they want to send you a Western Union, I think I'll give them the ability to do that. So you're in Chicago, so if they want to send LaQuisha McClain a Western Union or a MoneyGram, then you can just go ahead and let her know, hey, this is for the Female Fitness Motivation. Here's my $20. And it cost me $10 to send this 20.
Right.
But I'm sending it. So, like I say, that'll work for you there. And it's not hard, people. Getting the PayPal is 2 minutes of your life. Seriously. No. It's 2 minutes of your life. But if you ain't got 2 minutes of your life, or if you got real jank, if you've messed over every bank in your area, and you've overdrawn every account on every bank in your area, and you just can't use a banking account right now, then LaQuisha will gladly take your Western Union. Now...
So, can I back it up and speak real quick?
Yes.
On something? So, a little while ago, you mentioned something about groups like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narconomics and all that kind of good stuff. Well, I just want the listeners to know that when they get put into this special group that we're going to have, the private group, they're going to be insulated from all the negativity, especially since I'm going to be mediating the group. And what's important about that is because when you start something positive, I tell people this all the time, that sometimes the weight that they lose might not necessarily be the physical weight off of their bodies. It might end up being actual people or actual relationships. because sometimes when people are not doing things, they don't want to see you successful at doing things. So your relationships change. So you might end up having to lose people that are in your life that's been there forever, that's been your fat friend, that's been that friend that when you want to eat some ice cream, you call this particular person. And you can't keep unhealthy people in your life when you're trying to do something better, because they're going to either pull you down or you're going to have to bring them up. But the thing is, if you're not strong in your resolve and you're not strong in your healthy lifestyle, you're not going to be able to pull anybody up. So you have to surround yourself with people that are ready just like you. So if you don't have that in the real world, sometimes you have to build up your social media, your network, up with those people until you fortify yourself to be able to say to your family, to your best friend, to your work friend, no, I can't eat that. No, I can't do that right now. So it's going to be a safe space. And since I have been there before, I'll be able to help. And if you encounter any kind of situations that I can't help, I have a network that's big enough to where one of my friends or one of my associates will be able to help me out with a problem. I have naturopaths in my network. I have a pediatrician friend. I have chiropractic friends. I have an orthopedic surgeon in my network. So there won't be any questions that I won't be able to at least field if I don't know the answer to something. So I just want people to know that, you're going to get me as far as my knowledge, but we'll be able to tackle just about anything. And it's a challenge, and it costs $20, but there's money at the end. So if that's not enough motivation, I don't know what's going to be. But all these people are taking this ice bucket challenge and doing all these other challenges that, people might not see the fruits of their labor or, whatever. But if they can't do a challenge that's going to actually help them or benefit their family or, their community, then I don't know what to say. But I'm thinking that your network is motivated enough or conscious enough, hopefully, to be able to take this on and help themselves.
That's a very good point also, because that was the other thing that I was mentioning earlier, was that a lot of folk are out here, and it's only because, people have started taking notice of the ice bucket challenge and whatnot. They see some celebrities doing it, and people just see it as a quick and easy way to get attention. Everything is about getting attention. And, if your body is on point, you're not worried about that. But the problem is that so many people want a quick and easy, instant gratification that they can wrap their minds around an ice bucket. But when we say, why don't you work out and get the rest of you together instead of dumping ice water on your heads? First of all, they're doing the ice bucket challenge wrong. That's the first thing. For everybody out there, by the way, just in case you all are wondering, that's the way they're doing it is not. It's supposed to be that you donate to a charity, or if you're not going to donate, you dump a bucket of ice water on your heads. Show you how dense these people are. They are writing a check for the charity and then dumping an ice bucket on their heads. So I think that tells you a bit about them. But in any case, and that I am not saying that ALS is anything less than a horrible disease, okay? I'm not saying it's anything less than that. But people, every single person listening to me right now has a friend who is struggling with either diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, some obesity-related illness. Every single one of us, not 2 or 3 steps away, every single one of us knows somebody that we can call right now, that we speak to every week, and they are dealing with this. How many of us know somebody currently who is dealing with ALS? How many of us know somebody who knows somebody, another black person, who is fighting ALS? So we are overlooking the bodies dropping in the street. We are not picking up a glass of Kool-Aid for high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney disease, heart disease, but we're dumping buckets of ice water on our heads for ALS because we saw Gwyneth Paltrow do it. That is the definition of misplaced priorities. That is the definition of not having your intellectual act together. When the thing that is killing you every day, you won't lift a finger for it. But if we see Gwyneth Paltrow dump a bucket of water on her head, or Henry Cavill as Superman dump a bucket of ice water on his head, all of a sudden we're knocking ourselves over because we figure maybe our video will get looked at. Why don't you get that diastolic and systolic pressure down? Look it up. Why don't you get them blood pressure numbers down and get that sugar number down some? Why don't you get that down and see how much attention you get for that? Why don't we try something like that instead? So you make a very good point there. And also about the people in your life. You know, I figure if we can get them this far, we might get them to listen to something else. Because most black women, and can we just be honest, it's a socioeconomic thing. In a lot of degrees. Most black women are overweight because they got some dude sitting next to them. First of all, it starts with their mamas. Mama was overweight and made you feel comfortable with it. And as you got older, you didn't realize that that affected the quality of men you could get. So guess who you are hanging out with? You don't get to hang out with Darren and Charles. You get to hang out with Dravavian and Devontae and Jaquavian and all the rest of those nice, colorful names. And this dude ain't held a job since the Clinton administration. He will sleep with anything and everything, and usually has. And that's why he doesn't have a problem with you being fat and overweight, because you see, his aspirations in life ain't that high. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it here tonight in front of LaQuisha. You can tell everything about a man's life aspirations by the female he is with, by the female he has chosen. You take a look at his female, and I will tell you what kind of life he's living. I don't even have to know anything else about him. I can take a look at his woman, and I will tell you what kind of life he's living. I can tell you what kind of aspirations in life he has by nothing more than the woman he's with. And when you are an unhealthy woman, and the man that you are with is happy, even though you are unhealthy, that tells me everything I need to know about him. He wants you unhealthy because he knows you ain't going nowhere. As that's a way of physically dominating you and getting you to sign on for it. He's actually got you to sign on and be okay with being physically subjugated. Because as long as he keeps you unhealthy, you'll stay in the same house with the same job, and you'll never... Where are you going to go? He has just... It's like guys who, you know, they stalk their girlfriends and stuff, and they want to isolate you. You can't talk to your family. You can't talk to your friends. We want to isolate you. And keeping you overweight is a form of abuse. It is a way of isolating you. These other men won't want you. That's what he's thinking. This will keep them away from you. Now he's isolating you. And you figure just because he's willing to have sex with your Jagundah's ass, that everything is okay. And it's not. It's not. And and the problem is that with most black men being in an economically depressed position, we've got an epidemic of males, because a male is always going to want a female. We have an epidemic of males who are running mind tricks and game on females and telling them, oh, you're okay, big as a Freightliner. You're perfectly fine just the way you are. And because you have so many black males of low means, they are encouraging the females to be of low standards. And that's what we have going on now. And guess what? The median wealth for white men is $43,000. The median wealth for black men is $7,900. The median wealth for black women is $100. And guess who are the most overweight women in America? And I am telling you, yes, there is a correlation between how much you weigh and how much you have and how much money you make. Yes, there is a correlation. Don't try to play that damn game with me of I got a big fat friend who's the director of human resources and she makes $50,000 a year. Spare me. I can go down here to Popeye's, Church's Chicken, and Burger King and show you 50 women of the same weight, barely making minimum wage. And all of them will have a man, although most of them will probably not know that they have the same man, by the way. And once you start shedding that weight, your mindset changes. Why? Because you lost weight because you made a decision in of yourself that I want more out of my life. And once you decide you want more out of your life, you're going to start looking at this old unfamiliar Negro over here and saying, you know what? I want more for myself. Are we birds of a feather? And there you go, trying to look like them white girls. This is the game they're running now. This is the game that these broke, dusty, bummy dudes out there, and I'm willing to put half of black males in that category. Broke, bummy, and dusty is so desperate to keep these girls subjugated that they are now trying to run the absolutely mind-bending game of saying that being fit is being white. Just like they ran the game of talking English properly is talking white. Being able to add and count is talking white, is I guess counting white. Living in a neighborhood where the houses are younger than the Republic is living white. And now they have lowered the bar so low that these Negroes, in their attempts to shame you, are now saying that, girl, you don't want to be fit like that. Those are European. Being fit is a European standard. What next? Not being diabetic is a European standard?
Right.
Standard blood pressure is a European standard? What next? Wearing shoes is a European standard? And you know what? The answer is yes. If you let that no good Dusty Fred Sanford stunt double Negro keep hanging off of you, eventually he's going to tell you that wearing shoes and taking a bath is European standards. And I'm not even joking about that. Because you have to understand, a man is only going to aspire to as much as his woman demands. If he can get you in the bed wearing a wife beater and some boxer shorts, that's it. He's not going to try any harder than the woman demands. Whatever she makes the bare minimum to get her in the bed, that is the maximum he will do. That is the max he will try to do. If you set the bar high, he will set his standards high. If you let him get away with lowering that bar, you will he'll do everything in his power to make sure it never goes up again. And it'll keep getting lower and lower and lower. And like I say, remember when I met you 5 years ago? Remember when I was saying about, eventually it would get to the point where people are so desperate for attention that they will literally start setting themselves on fire. I said that.
Look, oh my God.
I said that. You all heard me on the Black Channel say that 5 years ago, that they were going to get so desperate for attention that eventually, we say figuratively setting yourself on fire. I said they will literally be doing it. Enter 2014.
So crazy. These people have lost their collective minds. It's so crazy.
Well, we're going to do our part to try to change that. So everybody, like I say, LaQuisha's a really good person for this. She has walked in your shoes, and she's still in them right now. So she's not some Jillian Michaels type, watching from 30,000 feet. She's walked in the same situation. She knows what it's like. This is not her first rodeo. She's a very good person for this. So if you are a black female, and this is for black females only, if you are a black female and you want to be a part of our new physical fitness motivation, we're taking it beyond just posts on Facebook. We want to get you involved. We want you to participate. I'm going to put my own money into this to assemble some type of cash prize for this. And we want to do it in stages too, by the way, because remember the meme that was put up, which LaQuisha and I will both sign off on is true, that it takes 4 weeks, 30 days before you start feeling different, 8 weeks before other people start noticing you look different, and 12 weeks before you notice a difference. And I may have that 8 and 12 wrong. Maybe 8 before you notice the difference, and 12 before everybody else does. But I wanted to be able to do this in stages. So I'd like to have a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day. That's what I want to be able to do. I want to have 30 days, 60 day, 90 day. So for those of you who stay for the whole 90 days, that'll be really, really great for you. And we want to be able to judge your progress. I want to give everybody the ability to vote on who they think is most improved at the. That's what it's basically be. It will not be a just losing weight. We want to have an overall most improved. So we want to look at everything that we can look at. So who has made the most progress in 30 days, who's made the most overall progress in 60, and who's made the most overall progress in 90. If you want to join with that, just send us. You can become a part of that by sending $20 to my PayPal, theblackauthority@yahoo.com, and I'll send your information to LaQuisha, and we'll enter you into the group. And if you are a black male, and you are tired of seeing the hungry hippos out there, brothers, we have to understand something. White women are not in the gym because of religion. And they are not there because of, quote, European standards. There's always some broke, dusty, dumbass Negro who doesn't have $5 but and doesn't spend any time around white folk except to say, yes, a boss, as he pushes the broom. But he's always trying to tell all the rest of us what are European standards. He doesn't go to any place where there are white folk, but he wants to tell all of us. He doesn't know any of the inner workings of white society, but wants to tell all of us how European standards work. Okay, whatever. White women do not knock themselves over to get to the gym because of European standards, religion, or nothing else. They do it because they know that white men are at the top of the socioeconomic food chain. And that if you want access to his power, wealth, and influence, he's got power, wealth, and influence, which means that he can take the pick of the litter. He can take the cream of the crop. He can take the best of the best. And white men make no bones about it. They will laugh in your face. As a white female, they will laugh at you if you come wiggling and jiggling up to them. That's why white men today, they have a joke about it, that the fat white females, go get a black guy. That's what they tell them. Aren't you supposed to be with a black guy? That's how bad it's gotten.
And you know how black women are always talking about there are no black men and there's no men to date. You know, as a fit black woman, I have the pick of the litter. I can choose who I want to be with. And, I have never been in a position where it's like, there are no black men out there. Well, there are for me because I'm fit, not that I'm looking right now. So as you improve, your dating opportunities improve. And, and there's so few of us. There are not a whole lot of fit black women. And I definitely see that being a fitness professional that I am. The circle is really small. So if you want to open up your possibilities as far as dating and job opportunities and opportunities in general, get fit. And then things do start opening up. It's not just about losing weight. It's about definitely changing your life. Oh, but TBA, I don't know if I told people that we are opening up this challenge, but how I'm going to be supporting people is giving them actual workout for them for the first month. They give us the $20. They get a workout, and if they need modifications, I offer them modifications, and I'm going to be giving them food support. I'm not going to write out a specific a specific diet plan, but I am going to give guidelines, and I'm going to give different challenges each week as far as food and, things to get the family involved and that kind of thing. So I'm going to be supporting people throughout this whole process, which is definitely worth more than $20. I want people to understand that. But you're going to put your money in. I'm going to put my time and effort in. All we need is to get this community involved, and they have to put the sweat equity in.
Yes, thank you very much for reminding us about that while I was prattling on. But yes, she will be helping you all to work on workouts, to help you work on getting your diet together on that. And like I say, the only reason the $20 is to make sure we don't have a bunch of folk who want to waste her time, because all I can say is go take a look at her fitness pictures. I ain't got to sell you on nothing. Those pictures sell themselves. All I can say is take a look at that. If that's what you want, if that's what you halfway want, then how else to get there except to listen to somebody who's actually done it? And that is very, very important. So definitely, if you are a black female and you want to be a part of it, definitely my PayPal is theblackauthority@yahoo.com. Just put a little note on there that says this is for the Black Female Fitness Motivation. My email address is my name and email address, and that way I can send your information to LaQuisha. If you don't want to take a part in it, but you want to be able to help with it, especially where black males are concerned, fellas, this would be a good opportunity for you to put your money where your mouths are. Because white men believe in charities, but they also believe in putting their money where their mouth is overall. And if they can get $400,000 to get a killer cop who's gunning down black males, white folk they don't believe in talk. They believe that money talks. They believe that their wealth talks. They believe that what they do talks. And we as black men, we have a low caliber of female today because we have a low caliber of accomplishment. Our females reflect our power and wealth. If the females look weak and flabby, guess what? That's because your power and your wealth is weak and flabby. So if we want to take an initiative on that, this is something that is serious, is dyed in the wool. You know that I don't play around. And this will be your opportunity to say, you know what, it ain't much, but I'll throw a few pennies in there. Let's show the women that that's where the money is, because white women understand in white society that's where the money is. Anna Nicole Smith lost weight. Remember that? She was working for Guess and Playboy, and she was never, rock hard. She was never like that. She was never obese, but she was never one of these rock hard abs. She was never one of these beanpole models. She started putting on weight. Then she met that millionaire out of Texas, and next thing you know, she's at Trim Spa and done lost the weight again. That's right. She was trying to get herself written in that will. Anna Nicole Smith learned how to lose the weight because she knew that there was money involved. White women understand that. Brothers, it ain't got nothing that you're trying to figure out how to get power and wealth. You're trying to figure out how to get respect without power and wealth, and it don't work that way. So if we want a higher caliber of female, it's going to start with us. And when they see our money don't go to Jordans, that our money goes to fit females, because a woman's not going to fight you over your Jordans. She's not going to try to figure out how to not get you to spend money on that. If you show that there is a market for fit females, the gyms will start filling up. But as long as all we bring are a bunch of whiny ass complaints and nothing else but our demands, and Dusty and Bummy is making demands of a female for real, come on, fellas, we're looking like a joke. So here's your opportunity to show, you know what? Hey, I'll put my quarter on it. And at least show that, you know what, let's be serious about this for a damn change. One more thing I did want to ask you here, LaQuisha, before I let you go. Now that you are a mother, and you were mentioning before about how you don't have a problem, you've never had a problem getting a man because you were fit. Now that you are a fit mommy, has that changed things?
I wanted to touch on this too. Now that I'm a fit mom, it's even more important for me to be fit because I want my child to be fit. But even before I had a baby, I wanted to focus on women because we are so important. If we're not healthy, how is our household going to be healthy? How are our kids going to be healthy? And how are our family in general going to be healthy? And then it starts with the individual families, but after we get our families healthy, then we can spread out into the communities. And then we can get healthy cities. And then we can get a healthy black community, in general, which were not healthy. But as a mom, I take my fitness level seriously because how am I going to run after my kid? He needs to go out and play. And instead of having moms that are just hollering at their kids, stay down, go do this, do this, I can get up and go run around with my child. Whereas when you're a big girl, you don't have any energy. I want to be there. I want to do things with my baby. I want to be in the park. And my child is going to understand squats before he understands how to walk, because I put him on my baby carrier and then I start squatting with him, So that's the reason why fitness has always, for the last few years after I made that transformation, even before I thought of this baby, fitness has been on my mind, because I want to be a mom that's involved and I want my children to be healthy, so that is very important to me.
Well, I want to definitely thank you for agreeing to be a part of this and for availing yourself and making yourself available for all of this. And like I say, I want you to post it up. I'll post it up. I want everybody out there. I'll probably make a banner or a meme for this so that people will be able to find it more easily. But I definitely want everybody out there to get involved in this. We can complain about our problems forever, but that's not going to change anything. Things change the day that you decide to get up and do something. We've already shown that we can get up and dump buckets of ice water on our heads for one disease. Why don't we actually deal with the one that's killing us in quintuple digits? How about that one? You can get motivated for this over here. How about we actually get motivated for something we can see a lot more frequently?
On your the official page for Jason Black, I'm going to post my before and after pictures, like the one that I have from a while ago. That way, if there's any women out there that have any questions for me, they can see me, and then that'll be a place where they can collectively ask any questions or voice any concerns, or say to their friends that might not have seen this broadcast, here's the girl that, here's the woman that's going to be helping us out, and have like a rallying point where everybody can come to.
Okay, well, definitely, because you want me to post it if you're not an admin, but send it to me, and I'll definitely post it up for you. Send it to me. I'll definitely post it up.
I'll send it to you once I get off the phone, because I gotta go make sure my baby and husband are okay. I was cooking dinner.
Well, I don't hear any screaming back there, so it sounds okay. But LaQuisha, thank you very much for joining us, and I'm hoping we can take this thing to the next level, and I can't wait to get started on it.
Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready, guys.
You take care, sister. We'll be seeing a lot more of you. This is the BlackChannel.net radio. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority, a.k.a. Mr. Jason Black. And like I say, I've got a lot going on myself, okay? I've got a lot happening too. But I'm not going to let that be my excuse for not doing anything at all. As black men in particular, don't you know what that makes us look like? When we refuse to get involved in things, when we refuse to do things, when everybody can see that if all we ever do is give lip service, and black men are especially adept at giving lip service, we're very, very good at doing that. But what we're not so skilled at is actually showing what it is that we are willing to put our money behind. Because you get results from the things that you fund. You get results from the things that you fund. You are not going to get results from the things that you do not fund, from the things that you do not invest in. You're not going to get anything from that. You're not going to make anything happen from that. You're not. And we as black males are waiting for somebody to bring us our rewards. It doesn't work that way. We are going to get the types of females that we pay for. And that's what every other man on earth does, and what every other male on earth expects. He does not expect that he is going to get anything that he did not pay for. He does not expect that he's going to get anything that he didn't pay for. You know why? Because he does not want a female who values things that she did not get paid for. Things that did not benefit her in any way. Who in the hell wants that chick standing next to him? That's ridiculous. Who wants that? But as black males, we play this mental masturbation shell game with ourselves, where we sit around and shadow box with each other and tell ourselves that, oh, we're going to get this done and we're going to get that done and we're not going to spend a dime for it. We're going to spread black history and we're going to spread black knowledge of black history, but we won't spend a dime for it. Tariq Nasheed will spend all the money. I'll bootleg all the copies of it and I'll sell it for some money. I'll give some head. I'll do that. But no, I'm not going to spend. We'll get everybody awakened, but nobody's going to spend any money doing it. We'll just let Jason Black spend all the money. We'll let Tariq spend all the money. We'll let Dr. Claude Anderson spend all the money. But we're not going to do anything ourselves. And as black males, we've got a high rate of broke, bummy, and dusty out here. And we've got to deal with that. And first and foremost, that goes with showing people that it pays to deal with black men. Let me say that again, brothers. We got to show people that it pays to deal with us. Because right now, don't nobody want to fool with us. They don't want to fool with us because they don't see where the benefit in fooling with us is. They damn sure don't see where the benefit of making us happy is. Black men want a female who's built like a brick house. Don't believe me? Take a look at Nicki Minaj and then go take a look at Monique. You can talk about, oh, I like them fat and jiggly and stuff. Okay, y'all have had plenty of opportunity to make Jill Scott's flabby body or Sherry Shepherd's Jiggly Wiggly as popular as Nicki or Rihanna or Beyonce. The men are lined up still for Janet Jackson, 50 years old, but they're not lined up for the fat and jiggly chicks that y'all keep defending in these memes on Facebook. What these fellas are saying and what they're doing are two totally separate things. Ladies, stop fooling yourselves, stop falling in the trick bag, stop going for the bait. These guys will tell you anything, but don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. Watch what they actually do with their money, do with their time. Look what they're actually chasing and posting up and responding to. Take a look at who's making the money off these fellas. Ain't a bunch of fat chicks. Y'all see a bunch of big fat ass hoes on Facebook, but you don't see any of them broads who can show you the money. They can't show you where the men are supporting what they're doing at no high level. They can find a few broken dusty dudes to give them a thumbs up, but you ain't finding a damn person out there who is saying, you know what? We as a group, as a multitude, are going to support that. It's not happening. It is time to stop the make-believe. You are not thick. You're fat. And you let that happen to yourself. But you know what? That's the worst. That's not the worst thing that happened to you. The worst thing that happened to you was you gave up on yourself. That's the worst thing that happened to you. The worst thing that actually happened in your life, you got fat because you gave up on yourself. You got fat because you gave up on you. That was what happened first. After you gave up on you, that's when the weight came on. That's when you started caring about weaves more than working out and being fit, because weave is an easy cloak, an easy burqa, an easy sheet to flop over yourself. And you're telling yourself that nobody can see how fat I am behind this weave. That's why the beauty salons are filled with fat women, because you're telling yourself that nobody can see how big and fat and busted I am behind this weave. Stop lying to yourself. We can all see it. Everybody can see it. Everybody knows it. But nobody is going to raise your standards for you. You've got to do that for yourself. You have got to raise them for yourself. I don't know, and I want to talk to the women out there right now. I don't know specifically what happened to you in your life. I don't know if it was your mom. I don't know if it was becoming a teen mother. I don't know if it was drugs. I don't know if it was that broke, busted, bummy dude that you've been with. I don't know if it was an accident. I don't know what it was that happened to you that made you give up on yourself. That made you look in the mirror and say, you know what? That is not worth saving. That's not worth lifting a finger for. That's not worth doing anything for. I don't know what it was that made you look in the mirror and say that. But I do know one thing. I know that the life we have is a choice we make every single day. And maybe it's not everything we want it to be, but damn it, it ain't gotta all be the worst. And there's some point in your life where you just started accepting a few bad things that you could or couldn't have helped, maybe, happen to you. And you allowed those things to damage you so badly that you stopped trying. And at that point, a bunch of things that had no business happening to you, that you had complete control over to stop, you let those things happen too. And that's the real shame of it. You let those things happen to you too. And whereas you only fell down 2 feet, you allowed life to drag you down 50 feet. And I'm saying that that is the lie that you accepted, that you had to be 50 feet down. Okay, let's just be honest, we're all adults here. Maybe we couldn't have stopped you from falling that first 3 feet. But that last 50? Why did that happen? Why did that happen? At what point did you look at your body and say that thing is worthless? When did you let that happen? When did you start looking at your brown skin and saying to yourself it's worthless? When did you start letting that occur? When did you start looking in the mirror, hating what you saw, and then eventually stopped looking in the mirror? And the only part of yourself you can see anymore is from your chin up. Do you know that we as black males, and I'm just going to lay it all out there on the line tonight. Brothers, if I'm lying, call me on it. We see an epidemic of black females out there today, and they've got crusty on their necks. Their necks look crusty and dirty. Am I right or wrong? You've given up on yourself, and you told yourself that all I have to do is maintain myself from the chin up. No, baby, you don't have to worry about the look of the chin up. You need to get in the gym and do some chin ups. You are not hiding behind that makeup. You are not hiding behind that weave. The Spanx can't help you no more. It is time for you to stand in front of a full-length mirror and say, not that that's me. You need to start saying, that's not me. Not anymore, it isn't. You know why you're so angry with the men? You're angry with the men because you're angry with yourself. You know why you stand next to white girls and you don't feel worthy? Because you don't feel worthy about yourself. Because you haven't given yourself an accomplishment that you can actually look at and name and say what it is. And say that this is what I excel at. And your body should be able to show us what you excel at, and you aren't able to do that, and from there comes the inferiority. Now the question is, do you want to die that way? Do you want to die like that? Or do you actually want to change it? And I'm saying that you don't have to die that way. A lot of things might have knocked you down, but tonight you make a decision whether or not you wish to stay there. Don't look at your children. You cannot do this for your children. This is not something that you can do for your children, your parents, your man, your religion. This is something that you can only do for yourself. The reason that your relationships with everybody else have suffered because you gave up on you. That's why you have such a low quality of male standing next to you, black women. You have a low quality of male standing next to you because you gave up on yourselves and you aren't demanding anything better. And when we see 80% of you overweight, 50% of you obese, as you wiggle and jiggle out the door, you are showing us with your body how low of an opinion you have of yourself. And the easiest person in the world to take advantage of is a person who does not care about themselves. And that's why these broken, dusty males encourage you to stay fat and overweight. Because as long as you are fat and overweight or tatted up, you are showing us that you have no regard for your body, thus no regard for yourself. A fat chick ain't getting a bunch of compliments on the way she looks. So the one guy who does give her compliments, she treats it like water in the desert. And that's why she calls that love, and will stay with him for 20 or 30 years because he's the only person who's willing to lie to you like that. And I'm saying it's time to come out of the shadows. It's time to come out of the closets. It is time to come out into the world. Stop lying to yourself and telling yourself that you're sexy when you know full damn well you ain't. You know full damn well you're not. It's time to change it. But I can't do that for you. And neither can LaQuisha or anybody else. You got to do that yourself. You've got to make that decision on your own that you are going to do something for yourself. That you are going to make this your mission. And that if nobody else wants to see you with an in-shape body, you do. And do it for yourself. Other people will simply respond to what they see you doing. But you can no longer sit there and be comfortable with the type of body that you have. Because the type of body that black women have is killing them. Sisters, you are the most unhealthy women in America. You're dying from the most weight-related diseases in America. And you will have a never-ending stream of fellow losers who profit either financially or emotionally off of telling you conspiracy theories or lying to you and saying you don't want to be in shape. Being in shape is for Europeans. These are the same people who tell you that wealth and riches are for Europeans. You ought to bust them in the mouth when they say things like that to you, because they're telling you how low an opinion they have of you. They're telling you that you don't deserve any better. And when you cannot make a distinction between a woman whose body is fit and a woman whose body is fat, if you have a person with you, or if you yourself cannot make that distinction between those two, I don't want you any damn where place around me. I don't want you anywhere around me. I want this century to be different. And brothers, I want you to join us on this. I want us to show people that, you know what? We call the tune, and we call the tune because we put our money where our mouths are. If we start seeing black men respond financially, when black men start putting money behind their demand that the females be in shape, when we start putting money behind that, we will start getting a tsunami of response. We will start getting a tsunami of response when we show people that our money doesn't go to Jordans. Our money doesn't go to cell phones. Our money doesn't go to hairstyles. Our money goes to black females' physical fitness. You start showing these gals that the wallet opens up when the fitness game is on point. If we show them that there is a market for being in shape, watch it open up. Watch it open up. Because understand something, broke and busted and bummy is not going to be able to compete with that. A woman wants $1 more than she wants a compliment. She considers your dollar to be the highest form of compliment. And right now, as a group, black males ain't showering too many compliments. We have to change that. Asian men keep their women in shape. Why? Because he has no problem looking her in the face and laughing at her if she tries to holler at him looking any old kind of way. Arab men, same thing. White men, same thing. They don't just talk the talk. They put their money where their mouths are. And as black men, this is your opportunity to join in and say, you know what? I'll buy a piece of that action. I'll take a piece of that action. Let's not just talk about it. Let's get in there and do something about it. Let's make something happen. Let us get in there and make something happen. We can start with this tonight. It's small, it's modest, but it's a start. And let's see where this takes us. Let's see where it takes us. My prediction is in the next 5 years, you're going to see more documentaries about black empowerment because of the success of things like Hidden Colors and 7 a.m. When people see that this is where that there is a market and this is where our money will go, that there is money to be made at that is where people's importance and priorities and focus will go. When we show them that. And when we show our women that we ain't just talking, when we show our women that we are serious and we're willing to put our money where our mouths are in physical fitness, you're going to see all these fat, jiggly, waddling hoes disappear. And y'all are going to be like, wow, I woke up in Neverland. What happened? The gyms are all full of black females. What happened? What happened was they saw that you give a damn. What happened is they saw that you actually give a damn about black women being in shape. And when we show that, when we don't tell them, but when we show them that this is what we believe, and this is what we think, and this is what we truly back and truly support, when they see that we are competing on the same level that all these other men on earth are, when they start seeing us make moves like that, things change. And all of a sudden the females start responding to your standard. This is something that we can get kicked off in a matter of months. It doesn't even take years. You want the females to respond? We got to show them that there's a market for it. We show them that there is a market for keeping us happy. Things gonna change. Things gonna change. So, starting tonight, if you are a black female and you want to be a part of the new Black Female Fitness Motivation with a cash prize at the end, you will get support, you will get training, you'll get workouts, You will get personal tutelage from our fitness extraordinaire, LaQuisha McLean. All you have to do is go to our PayPal, theblackauthority@yahoo.com. Just give your name, your email address, and $20 and tell us that you want to be a part of it. I'll send your information to her, and we will get you started. And I'll make sure. I've got a network of thousands of people, but I want you to know that we're with you. But it starts with the first step. It starts here. You show us that you're willing. We've taken the first 5 steps. All I'm asking you to take is 1. I've taken the first 5. LaQuisha's taken the first 5. Can you take 1 and show us that you are really serious about having a new life? The worst thing in the world, and I'll leave it at this, to all the black women out there, and you know that you have just let your body just fall completely the hell off. Sisters, do you know how many of you sit on Facebook and you are 25? I mean, if you are 25 years old and you've got pictures of yourself in high school, that's probably a warning sign of a problem. If you are 30, 40 years old and you still got pictures of yourself in high school, showing that to the world, do you know what you're really saying? What you're saying is, my best days are behind me. And remember what I said before about giving up on yourself? Well, guess what? That's one of the signs that any man, any fool can see. It is obvious you have given up on yourself. And no man is going to hurt himself to be with a female who has obviously given up on herself. This heifer got pictures from her high school days. She thinks she looked her best in high school. So what that means is that if I get with her, hell, the best she was is already gone. I can forget about things getting better than they are now because her best days are behind her. Her best days are behind her. And guess what, ladies? The males treat you like that because you are showing them that in your mind, your best days are behind you. Now, we gonna change this or what? You wanted the men to put their money where their mouths are? All right, game on. Now it's your turn. Now it's your turn. And before anybody says, well, TBA, I'm scared and I'm worried. Worried about what? I'm worried about you, TBA. You can be kind of rough. Baby, you need to be worried about that high blood pressure, that stroke, that diabetes, that heart disease. That's what you need to be worried about. You need to be worried about that. You worried about a guy on the internet talking into a microphone. I'm talking about your life, and you worrying about a microphone and the internet. Seriously? So brothers, sisters, around the world, let's get involved. Let's make this happen. The Black Authority at yahoo.com. Just put a little note on there that this is for the black female fitness motivation. Let's turn this damn thing around. It's time for black women to get in the gym and show the rest of the females in there what a woman's body is supposed to look like. It is time for black women to get at the gym, on the track, at the high school. It's time for black women everywhere to show the rest of these women what a woman's body is supposed to look like. Without surgery, by the way. Without butt implants. Without saline injections. You show them what a woman's body is supposed to look like and didn't have to go to a doctor's office. Yeah, it's time to show out like that. Stop daydreaming and deluding yourself into saying that that's what you got when we all know that's not. Why don't we actually go and get it? And let's show them what time it really is. I was looking through today and we were reading some articles and whatnot. I saw one today. The California legislature has passed a yes means yes sexual assault bill. It's waiting for the governor to sign it into law before it becomes law, but it's passed both houses in California. And let me tell you, that is going to be another tool. Every time they come up with a new criminal statute, they want to legalize weed and we're going to bring in the rape. If we can't get you for weed, we will just make it where we can get you for rape instead. Because that's a one strike right there. You become a convicted sexual offender, that's a one strike. That's a one strike. And you notice it's a bunch of white women pushing it, but ultimately it will be targeting black males. All of these offender things, street harassment, yes means yes, child support, all those things are intended to target black males. White women will push them, but they will leave it up to black women to be the foot soldiers of white supremacy in order to enforce it. And that's what you're going to see next. They want to make sure that every avenue is available to keep this mess going, to keep this internal strife going. They're not going to go after white men with these rules. They're going to try to go after black men with them. They are what these rules are intended to do. And understand where they're going to be using this at. Now, this is for college campuses, okay? College campuses. And guess what? If not enough black women are willing to accuse college black males of sexual assault, the white women will do it. I mean, it's basically a crime that you can get away with immediately. The news media will put up the face of the offenders, so you are famous for rape. Even if you're found innocent, you're famous for it. The media can target and assassinate the character of black men even if they don't get us put in jail. Now, the woman who accuses you, she can do it with no consequences and no risk. They'll never say her name. They'll never say who she was. She can just accuse you and that's it. So these females who they know are emotional and spiteful and everything else, and they want to arm them with the ability to target you because they know how this will work. This is not about whether you're guilty or not. I need black men to stop being dumbasses and recognize this is not about guilt. You are guilty of being a black male. What was Michael Brown's crime when he got gunned down? Trayvon Martin's crime when he got gunned down? Jordan Russell Davis's crime when he got gunned down? What was he guilty of? They don't care if you actually committed a crime. The crime is being black. We just want to set up circumstances where we can just get something started. Give us a reason. That's all we want. Give us an occasion to come into contact with you. It'll seem semi-justified. We'll take it from there. We'll take it from there. As Nixon's man Haldeman said, we understand that the problem is really the blacks. And our goal is to engineer a system that recognizes this while appearing not to. Chad Ochocinco got himself kicked out of the league for nothing more than an arrest. They want to make sure they've got your ass locked down every which way they can. And they will say that this is the rule, but they will only execute those rules against you. White males will get the plea bargain out of everything. You as a black male will always get sentenced. Always. Always. I said years ago that California was one of the top 10 places in America that no black person should live. As a black male, if you're still living in California, that's your ass. Because this law will extend beyond college campuses, by the way. They just want this to be a precedent. This law will extend beyond college campuses. Now, you notice as a female, she can say rape. If at any time during sex she says stop, that's rape. And she's not responsible for the baby or anything else. But as a male, if you're having sex with a female and you tell her to stop, and if she gets pregnant, you notice that Are they going to say that that's rape too, by the way? That was something I was thinking about in the last few days when I saw this bill. I was like, you know, if a man's having sex with a female and if he tells her to stop and she turns up pregnant, is he now protected under rape law? Because I know for a female, she would be protected. At least she would claim it. Can a man claim the same thing? But as black men, we have not demanded anything. And we have no power, wealth, and influence with which to punish the politicians who do not do our bidding. When you have politicians who do not do your bidding, you are supposed to have power, wealth, and influence so that you can punish the ones who do not do what you said for them to do. And for any of you who watch that TV show House of Cards, you see how it works. You get your power and your wealth and your influence together so that you can determine the rules, and any politician who don't roll with it, you get his ass out of there. As black men, we have not been flexing our muscles because we've been concerned with being all super spiritually groovy. Every black man in America knows what Hotep means. How many black men in America know what a derivative means? We have been sitting up here living in a damn dream world where we have become comfortable being the world's poorest men. And in the 21st century, they are now actively working to annihilate the poorest men. The police are hitting you on one side, vigilantes on another, the job market on another, the court system on another, the media on another. They are not even thinking about playing anymore. They are coming after you on every single conceivable level imaginable. It's not a game. It's not a joke. White supremacy is on the march, and they are putting all the mechanisms in place necessary to put the squeeze on you. It's not a game at all. They are not playing about this, and every time you look up, there's always something else that is dropping. There's always something else that is dropping. As black men, if you expect to have a future, and understand this law in California will be coming to a state near you, they are not going to give up on incarcerating us, brothers. They're not going to do that. They are not going to give up on incarcerating us. That is never going to get old and never going to go out of style. They brought us to this country in chains, and as far as they are concerned, that is our rightful place in bondage. They will never tire of putting us in chains, brothers. Never. Never. Now, it's going to be our decision if we allow them to get away with this, because the only thing you can do with a slave is work him or kill him. Work him to death or lynch him to death, or both. That is the fate of all slaves. A slave's purpose for existing is to be a tool of servitude, and once his time of service has ended, he is to be discarded. That is the purpose of all slaves. Now, the only question that you have to ask yourself is that going to be you? Tonight's a night of big decisions for a lot of people on a lot of levels, and you'll have to make up your minds. You have to make up your minds, and I've got a whole handful of stories like that. So you can listen to people like me talking about power, wealth, influence, owning businesses, or you can go back to puffing your weed and giving up on yourself and telling yourself, well, is it really going to be that bad? Ask Brian Banks if it's that bad. Ask him. And ask all the other brothers who are doing time behind somebody lying on them. Ask them if it's that bad. You are playing games with people who are not playing games with you. Let's all get serious about fixing this tonight. Join us on Facebook at the official Jason Black group. Join us on Twitter at The Black Channel. And join us on YouTube at The Black Authority. Or TBA. That's where I post my shows now, is under the name TBA. Don't know why. It's been giving me a hard time showing myself on YouTube for some reason. I gotta find out why that's going on. But definitely join us. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, brothers and sisters from around the world, remember that black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.